Former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, joins me now. So she never did any interviews, and then they just throw her into 60 Minutes, The View. How's it going?
Not well. She even failed Oprah. I mean, think about this. A city council, someone running for city council, has been questioned more about what they would do for your city than the person who wants to be the leader of the free world. And what's so ironic to me, when you look at the New York Times poll, 60% of America wants change. 28% say they don't know what she stands for. But she says she's the change candidate, but she would do nothing different than Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden doesn't even remember what he did. She actually does.
So she has no excuse. She could have picked from so many things. Afghanistan, maybe I would have kept Bagram. You know,
Yeah,
maybe
so
I wouldn't have dropped sanctions on Iran that killed all these people.
13 Americans died, and she said she wouldn't do anything different.
Nothing
She
different.
was the last person in the room. You've got inflation rising where it's harming every single American. She wouldn't do anything different. You got a border that no bill passed, but she literally doesn't know how the system works, that she says they never took it up. Democrats controlled the Senate, the House, and the White House, and she's blaming them.
So why was she not prepared for that question? She had to have known that was going to be asked eventually.
There was no teleprompter.
Is she really that bad?
Yeah, she goes to 32 days, 32. It's joyful. It's joyful.
So when you were with her behind the scenes at the White House, is she the kind of person that's just, yes, sir, salutes the boss like she does Joe Biden, doesn't really think for herself? Because she seems really confused about what to do with all this new power and authority.
I'll tell you, the number of times she came to the meeting, she was late. And this was what remarkable. You would see respect when someone would hold the meeting up for her. No, Joe Biden never waited for her. He'd start the meeting even till she wasn't. So then she'd show up and you'd wonder, does she know what's going on? And only now and then she would interject. But it was kind of like the person interjecting and you were 30 minutes late on that question. We already handled that section.
So she was late to these meetings.
She wasn't prepared.
Wasn't prepared. Was that her fault? Because she said she had staff problems. I mean, isn't it your responsibility to prepare yourself at a certain point?
You know what your meetings are. You know where you're going to go the next day. She's got all the staff in the world that she needs, but no one will stay with her. 92% have left. Everybody knows whether you're Republican or Democrat. It happens on both sides. Nancy Mace on the Republican side, nobody will work for her. And there's a reason why. Nobody will work for Kamala Harris, who's the vice president of the United States. You know, Nancy Pelosi was telling the Democrats when they were trying to remove Joe Biden, she was telling the Democrats, but we don't want Kamala. She's worse than Joe.
Oh, my. Well, I don't know anything about Nancy Mace. I don't know what kind of issues she has. But am I overstating this? Because I look at these interviews and I'm appalled. This is a professional politician. She's the sitting vice president, and she's not surviving The View. Am I seeing things differently than the rest of the country?
No, she was a U.S. Senator. She was the Attorney General of California. She was the VP, and she can't walk out and do a normal press, so she goes to The View. The View is never going to be rough on any Democrat, and let known the Democrat nominee who didn't run for the job but is being given it. Then she sits down with Oprah, can't do it. MSNBC, and they even said at the end, Stephanie Ruhle, who is so far to the left that she couldn't answer the questions.
Yeah, everyone says that. Even Whitaker has to do a voiceover. She dodged. Everyone says that after every interview. She has more problems than just the media issue. She has problems with her base. This is the Teamster president earlier. Listen.
I'll be honest with you, I'm a Democrat, but they have us over for the last 40 years. And for once, and not all of them, but for once, we're standing up as a union, probably the only one right now, saying, what the have you done for us?
Yeah.
And I'm getting attacked from the left. You know, and we've given, since I've been in office 2.5 years, we've given the Democratic machine $15.7 million. We've given Republicans about $340,000, truth be told. So it's like, you know, people say the Democratic Party is the party of the working people. They're bought and paid for by big tech, those big tech companies.
Wow. What is it called when you give someone a lot of money and they screw you? Because that's what he just said. We give him $15 million and they're screwing us.
You know what he knows? He knows all those union workers are voting for Donald Trump.
They couldn't say that.
But that's exactly what they're doing. Remember when they tried to put Donald Trump on trial because he's running for president, and he walks over in the morning and he sees all the union workers, and they're telling him, exactly what they think of Joe Biden.
He's signing hats.
Yes, he was a rock star.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't endorse, because they want Donald Trump, because they know the difference. 41% of Hispanics are voting for Donald Trump. 16% of black voters are voting for Donald Trump. That's the highest number we've seen in quite some time.
Don't give me a red wave.
I'm not telling you.
Don't say it.
No,
Are you
this is
jinxing it, McCarthy?
No, I'm just saying this is probably one of the tightest races we've found. I think it comes down to Pennsylvania. You look within there, and you've got to make sure you put the vote in early. Don't wait till Election Day. Bank your vote now and go help somebody else. There are no undecided voters in America. Whichever party takes out the low propensity voters will win this election.
All right, we'll see how it shakes out. Kevin McCarthy, good to see you in person.